Hey YouTube, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a brief story time about how I had lost faith in this particular situation and how me restoring faith allowed God to literally come through on a situation at the last minute. So here's the story. So this was back in 2000, this was September 2019. And I had been leasing this car, Honda Accord, for 3 years. So it was time for me to, because October would have been 3 years. So I had to come and turn my car back in. So we were going to talk about giving me a new car, possibly financing this time, and just getting because that year, it was the third year. So the car I had was a 2000. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Yeah, it was a 2015, I believe. 3 years. Okay. It was 2015. So it was time for me to turn the car in. So long story short, I go take the car to the dealership and we're sitting down, we're having talks about me getting a new car. So mind you, for like the last 6 to 8 months, I had like a lot of things that were going on, and a lot of issues. So financial issues, like, to where I was paying my car note late, like a lot. Okay. And like my bills and stuff were like barely making those payments and whatnot. So it was like really, really hard for me. So I'm thinking, like, when I go into the dealership, like I had already been with them for 3 years, have been paying on time consistently, the first couple of years, like maybe I would be okay. So going to the dealership, and we're sitting down talking to the dealer, and he's like running my credit, and stuff. And he comes to me and he's like, yeah, I don't know, something about car dealers. Like, I hate the whole car buying experience. I hate car dealerships, all of that. So he's like running game, like, yeah, everything's fine. We're gonna find you a new car, somebody to finance you, this kind of thing, whatever, whatever. So he comes back like an hour later, and he's like, is there any way that you could find someone to co-sign for you, or you could find someone to get the car for you in their name? And I'm like, no, like I literally had like nobody. Okay. So I'm like, no, it's not gonna work for me. So we're trying to come up with options, like literally like nothing. Okay. So in between, like, me, before I turned my car in, like I said, I have been going through a lot of financial stuff, a lot of issues or whatever at home and whatnot. And so I was trying to turn over a new leaf and to kind of start looking at things more positively, being more positive about things, and stop looking at things in a negative light. So I had come across this video. I can't remember whose video it was, but they were talking about like how they had cut out social media and stop watching TV, stop listening to the radio, that kind of thing. And they just kind of read books about like positive things, like affirmations, and how to start your own business and having a business mindset. And they were like suggesting books like Rich Dad Poor Dad, Napoleon Hill, what's the name of that book? um oh my goodness, it's like on the tip of my tongue. The Napoleon Hill book, Think and Grow Rich. Okay. Think and Grow Rich. Okay, so like books like that. So I was reading those books in between the time. So the time frame that the video had told me to try it out for was for 3 weeks. So it said 3 weeks, cut all of that out and just focus on, a positive mind frame, a positive mindset. And that's what my focus was. So it's not hard for me to cut out social media because I'm not on social media to begin with. So that part was pretty easy. But just thinking positive, and when situations arise and we kind of, our back is up against the wall, and it's like, oh my God, like, are you going to come through? Like, what's going to happen? Not looking too good, in my favor. Those kind of situations where you're like stuck and you have no choice but to literally like just think positive and have faith. That's the type of mind frame, I was trying to shift my mind into thinking, instead of thinking negative all the time. So instead of thinking like, okay, I don't have this car, like they couldn't find anybody to finance me. Instead, I just kept thinking like, I have the car, I have the car, I have the car. The car is mine. So this one particular day, like towards the end of 3 weeks. Now, mind you, they say 3 weeks, it takes you 21 days to grow out of a habit, right? Or to stop a habit or whatever. So at the end of this 21 days, I just got this urge to go to church. I hadn't been to church in a while, but there was this church that I haven't been there in a while now, but I would go there often. And I hadn't been there in a while, but I really enjoyed this church because I felt like the pastor was like really speaking to me, and I was getting a lot from this minister. Okay. So I get this urge to go to church. Now, mind you, this is Sunday morning, okay, and I'm in my bed, and it's like 11:30 in the morning, and I get this urge to get up and go to church, and I'm like, okay, God, you told me to get up. I don't know why, but I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go to church, okay? So I literally got dressed in like 15, 20 minutes to try to make it to this church because they do 3 different services, like one at 7:30, one at 9:45, and then the last one, actually it's 4. The next one is at 12 o'clock, and then the last one is at 2:45 or 2 o'clock, one of them. So I was trying to make the 12 o'clock service. So I'm rushing trying to get to church, and I get there, I listen to the word, and the word is, how they always say like you miss church and you don't go for a while, and when you go back, like it's meant for you to go because that sermon that day is like speaking to you like through your soul. That's what I felt like God was, he wanted me to be there to hear that sermon that day. And so I leave the sermon, I'm, in the car, I'm crying, and I remember my daughter's father had called me because he was at work, and he was like, how was church? Because I had told him I got this weird urge to go to church today. And so as soon as I got to church, I called him. He's like, how did service go? Was everything okay? And I said, yeah, like, the minister was talking about just basically letting go and just having faith. And, that's what I got from it. And it was really powerful. And I'm like, I really, really felt the sermon today, right? You guys, like, I kid you not. Because I've been crying about this literally all week because I'm like, I have to turn my car in. Like, I don't have a car, So, literally, while I'm on the phone, having this conversation about having faith, and just life in general, and, not looking at things negatively, no lie, my other line beeps. And I'm looking at the phone, and I'm like, because I don't answer calls that I don't recognize, right? But something told me to answer this phone call. And so I'm like, I'm going to call you right back. It's somebody on the other line. I don't know who it is, but I'm going to answer it. So I answer the other line, and it's this lady from the Honda dealership. And she's like, yeah. And I had never talked to this lady before. I had been dealing with a guy. Okay. Guy's name was Tony. So it wasn't Tony, but it was a female. And she was like, hi, this is so-and-so from the Honda dealership. And we were calling to let you know that we were able to work out something, and you're able to bring the car that you have right now, and we can switch you out and put you into a brand new, car, and we can finance you. And I'm like, oh my God, like, and I looked at the phone, and I'm like, this cannot be happening. Like, this cannot be happening. Like, and I just bust out crying. And so I had to put the phone on mute because I was crying so hard. And the lady's like, are you still there? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. Like, I'm still here. She's like, did you still want the car, or did you go to another dealership? I said, no. I said, I still want the car. I said, I'm just really happy right now. And she was like, yeah, she's like, we could just set up an appointment, and you can come in whatever day is good for you this week. She said, we can switch you out. It shouldn't take you no more than an hour, and we'll have the keys in your hand. You can drive off the lot. Everything will be good. And I'm just sitting here like in disbelief, guys, because I'm like, you guys told me like a week ago that there was nothing that you guys could do. Nobody would finance me. I couldn't even lease the car, like none of that. And then I get this urge to get up today, take my behind to church, which is what I did. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, what if I did not get up and go to church? Like, what if I didn't follow that urge? You know, I could have missed out on a really big, major blessing. It was just, you guys, that story, even to this day, still gives me chills because I just remember like how I felt, and I felt defeated. Like, I felt like I was disappointed in myself because I put myself in that situation. But it was like at that time, you know, we all go through things, and you know, it was really like out of my power, you know, and I just literally took faith and just believed, and I wouldn't take no that I couldn't get a car. I wouldn't take no for an answer. I didn't want to put that, you know, in my spirit. I just kept saying like, I got the car, I got the car, I got the car. And he showed up and showed out literally at the last minute. Like, amazing. I still have that car to this day. Like, that was what was it, almost 3 years ago? It'll be 3 years in September that this happened. And you guys, like, when you feel like situations are not looking good for you, it's at that moment that you have to have faith that God is going to pull you through. It's not up to man to make the decision that you can't have this or you can't have that, you know, because of this or because of that. At the end of the day, it's God that calls the shots, and God's, you know, he's the one that makes the decision as to what's going to happen, you know, at the end of the day, you know. And I don't know what happened, how he worked it out. That's not for me to ask. I just know God came through as he always does, you know. And that's why I was saying, like, I have so many testimonies because, you know, I've been in situations where I shouldn't, you know, be here, or, you know, very dangerous situations, or, you know, just situations that normal people can't even, you know, talk about. And on this channel, I want to share those things with you guys because I know that, you know, me talking about these things can help someone. And this is just one of those situations where, you know, I'm pretty sure we've all been in a situation where, you know, you're like, dang, like, there's no hope for me. Like, they said it can't happen, it can't happen. And at the end of the day, like I said, it's not up to us, it's not up to man, you know, flesh. It's not up to us, it's up to God. And that's the person that we need to be going to for any and everything. Okay. So I thought I would just share that story with you guys. I have been having the hardest time trying to upload my videos to my channel. Like, it's nobody but Satan. God, you guys, oh my God. But I will be uploading more videos this week. So just stay tuned for that. I really hope that this story helps someone. You guys have a wonderful, blessed night, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.